How are you, Nye?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. We did it. We did it. Oh my gosh.
I know, right? It's been so long, but we're
Yeah,
here.
we did it. How are you? How are you?
Good. How have you been? There's been a lot going on in my world. I know it's been a lot going on in your world as well.
Yeah, that's a little nuts.
I know. Well, I'm not going to hold you up. I'm just going to dive right on into it.
All
You
right.
met you met me at the book fair at the South Bend Public
Yes.
Library. I told you that what I do is I interview authors, and
Hmm.
you are one of the authors I'm interviewing today. And we're going to talk about this book that I purchased from you at the book fair.
Yes.
And before we get into the book itself, I just want to know, like, what inspired you to be an author?
Oh, well, I've always been a creative person, and even when I was a little kid, I was writing stories in notebook pages and illustrating them horribly. Um, when I was raising kids and staying home, I was keeping a blog because I like to encourage people. And
Okay.
so I would write about mom things and woman things and life things and try to encourage people. And then I wrote A Reluctant Missionary. It's my first book. I wrote it as a way to fundraise for the Tayama Enterprise Academy in Sierra Leone, and it wasn't even my idea. My aunt knew that I was trying to raise money to give back because they paid my flight to get there.
Oh,
And she said, well, why don't you do a book? Because then it would keep giving in perpetuity. And I was like, oh, okay. And to do a full color book on your own is not cheap. And so my aunt and uncle funded most of it. Another person connected to Operation Classroom helped. And then one of my friends, whose brother had died, he donated some money in his brother's name.
okay. Oh, so you didn't had an interesting start.
Yeah, yeah, I did. And novels didn't happen for 4 more years.
But you had a good start. You had a very interesting start, Heather.
Yeah.
Um, so what drives your creativity to keep going, to keep trying to
I'm a rebel mentality. If you know Gretchen Rubin and her Happiness Project or the Four Tendencies, those books are so much fun. I don't consider myself to be an intellectual person, and so they feed you interesting, thoughtful, intellectual things, but in a very playful, wise manner. And so I've been reading her books for years, and I'm a rebel, so I don't like to follow rules, whether they're yours or mine or my boss's. And I'd like to change, but I'm mid 50s, so it's just not going to happen. And so for me, writing is a way to explore and create novelty for myself.
okay.
I don't like to have the same day all the time. There's some things I like to do ritually, but um, writing really allows me to explore other people and other ways of life and things that I'm not familiar with. And I get to ask really weird questions. And so that fuels my creativity.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, we all have our own rules we go by, just as you said, of course, you have the routinely things that you go by, but then, like say for instance, someone might take one way to get to work, you take another way to get to work. We're going to
Mhm.
get to work, but we're just not using the same way to get there. And
Yeah.
and that same how you are like with approaching how to write and stay creative and things of that nature, which is good.
Hmm.
Um,
Thanks.
did you ever have a hard time with or have writer's block, I should say?
I haven't had writer's block per se, but I kind of go in cycles. So, like right now, I'm trying to finish a novella. I wrote three novellas called Rage Mom Diaries, and two of them have been published as ebooks. And when the third one is finished, it will be published as an ebook, but then all three will be put together in a paperback. And
Okay.
I've got an ARC team set up, which is an advanced reader copy. So they read it before it publishes and then they're ready to review it on publication day or very close to it so that other readers know what to expect. And so I've got this tiny little novella. I need about 10,000 words. I'm halfway through it, but I haven't sat down to work on it. And
Mm.
so I don't get writer's block exactly, but I get writer's lazy. Or I've been cleaning my house. Like I went down to the basement to do some laundry. The floor was gross. I started sweeping the floor. Then I moved this, moved that. And my husband's like, that doesn't look like writing to me.
You're getting distracted.
But then there's other times when I will sit on the couch with my whole family around and I'll have headphones in and I'll be writing away for hours and hours. So when I get writer's block, I just walk away because I'm
Mm.
fine with that. And I know that it'll come back when it's supposed to come back. I've never been a very disciplined writer. I kind of go with the flow when it's available to me.
Yeah, I understand that. I think that's the reason why I haven't myself published any of my work because I do it creatively and then I get distracted. I just go
Hmm.
off something else and I come back later and I might write some more and I don't know, I'm just all over the place with it. I really got to get it together.
You don't, though. You don't have to get it together. You're not using it to pay any bills. I'm the same way. Like, I'm not on a timeline that anyone's giving me except myself. And that's what I really like about indie publishing is that I'm in charge. I decide. And if I don't feel like it, okay, I don't feel like it. Back here I've got my board where the sticky notes are beats for a book,
Hmm.
the one I'm not working on right now that I'd started. It's one of the Bombshell Beauties. It's a full length novel. And so working with the novellas is quicker and shorter. So I'm
Hmm.
focusing on them until they're done. And then I'll go back to the brunette book. But I've got all kinds of like messy business written here that's to try to keep me in line and organized. But really, the only hard and fast I have right now is the ARC team is expecting to get all three books June 15th. So I've got 3 weeks to
Oh,
finish Madison and package the three of them together and send them off. So that's my
uh,
only deadline, and it's my own deadline.
right, right. Crunch time. You make your own shot. You call your own shots.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get right into the book, A Reluctant Missionary. What made you choose this woman on the cover for the book?
I thought she was so beautiful. And you can tell by her face that this is a woman doing her daily work, and some white lady's like, can I take your picture, please? And she doesn't have the energy for it. She's like, whatever, sure. But the basket of whatever she's holding and the work she was doing, she was so lovely and such a great um summary of my experience of Sierra Leone. And the beach below with me, like who wants to see my dumb face on the cover, right? But the beach was beautiful, and then I caught the other woman with the basket on her head. Like that's just not, we don't do that in America, and it's such a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful part of that country. Um, that I just wanted that to be the main part of the cover. And the woman, I don't know her name. I can't say her name. Years ago, I was able to send her some money back with a copy of the book when one of the teams went by, because the village doesn't really have much in the way of technology or structure.
Mm-hmm.
Most people carry a cell phone, but it's very, very simplistic the way they live. And I didn't even know she was pregnant. She was so little, and I guess she was pregnant at the time. So my connection there, Ibrahim, was able to get her the money in the book and let me know that she was tickled with that. And you
Okay.
know, so
Okay.
that's why I chose the cover. And I love the color purple. So
Uh-huh. Speaking of what you said that their customs aren't the same as they are in
mhm.
the US. When you got there, what was the most shocking thing that you experienced when you got there? The difference, I suppose.
Well, the people at the airport, the military people at the airport were carrying machine guns. That was a little unsettling. Um, And like the fragrance right away was different than anywhere in America. And it was like a thick, heavy, earthy, loamy kind of smell that was really incredible.
Mm.
Um, I'm looking through the book right now because there's a picture that I used that was the most shocking part for me. Oh, so it's in the middle. It's after Ibrahim saves Salone number 27. There's an
Okay.
open picture of just the two boys with the hoop, and
Yes.
then this woman with this catfish. So she was cleaning a catfish
Yeah.
on corrugated metal on the ground, and the level of cleanliness was not what I'm used to as a antibacterial soap,
Right.
American.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and unfortunately, I think they worked really hard, our hosts, to care for our delicate, precious constitutions. So we weren't eating village food. There was people that were preparing our food. It was different food. And we were told not to eat greens because our bodies couldn't handle whatever might still be lingering on the greens, like no salad, no fresh vegetables, only cooked. And that was kind of sad, because I wanted to eat some salad. I've never wanted salad so badly in my life. Um, but it was really embarrassing because when they would serve us chicken, each person would get half of a chicken. And I've never needed half of a chicken. And the fact that the people that were eating so little food would give us big, white, fat Americans too much food was embarrassing and painful because we couldn't reject it, really weren't able to share it. And it was embarrassing. And it should be embarrassing. And I'm okay being embarrassed. It was one of the many lessons I learned in Sierra Leone where, I thought, oh, I'm going with my church group and I'm going to help people. No, I was not helpful. I was a big, dumb idiot. And that also was important, you know?
So the privileges basically that we have here, you was embarrassed of when you were in that
Oh,
country.
yes. Yep. Yeah, what I took for granted as basic American life, I had never been anywhere. The only I'd been to Cancun on a vacation once. Otherwise, I'd never left the States until going to Sierra Leone. And driving through the streets of Freetown, people are crossing the street. They're riding bikes in the streets. Um, there's very limited organization to traffic. And so we're literally driving by someone this close on a bicycle. And now our driver knew what they were doing, but the rest of us were like, ah! Because we're used to a
Right.
structured, organized, and the biggest lesson I learned that I've tried to share and apply is that I knew that part of the country as a third world country, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not. It's a developing country because third world is a negative connotation and it's very disrespectful and it's developing. One of the things I like the most that I was very impressed with is, and I think there's a picture in here, but I'm not sure, there's a hotel we stayed at that was
Mm-hmm.
only half renovated. And so the one of the pictures I took, you could see like it's just whoop, and then there's the part
Yeah.
we're staying in.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that culturally in West Africa, they do not do the things Americans do, where we borrow money and we build beyond our means and we buy a new car and have a $500 a month payment. I don't do that. My family doesn't do that, but
Mm-hmm.
many Americans do.
Right.
And in our experiences, they save up the money and then they do the work. And so seeing half of a construction project meant a lot there. And like
Yeah.
the church that we were helping fund, being, no windows, no doors, but it had walls and a ceiling over time. I
Mm-hmm.
think that there's a lot of things Americans could learn from waiting and working with what you have instead of borrowing and borrowing and borrowing.
Yeah. So basically, if you don't have it, you don't get it. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you like they
Yeah.
have no sense of credit there.
I don't believe so. Not from the folks that I talk to.
It
But like
seems
I drive an 18-year-old car, so like I'm
yeah.
also living pretty simply a lot of the time, but I eat an embarrassing quality and quantity of food in a month. Our personal family grocery budget's embarrassing because it's not just groceries, but it's going out to eat. And one of the things I got a big kick out of is I brought a little uh 3x5, 4x6 photo album of like my family, my house, things that were safe and respectful to talk about. And there was a whole village full of little kids who laughed and laughed and laughed when they got to the page of my dog Cassie laying on the bed because
Mhm.
they don't do that. They don't have pets. They're trying to feed themselves. And they may
Right,
have dogs in the village, but they wouldn't have a dog on the bed.
right. So they're
And
looking like, what?
it was really funny. I was like, "What?" And then my friend Ibrahim, because we would stay in touch over the years with Facebook. I was talking with him at one point. I told him that one of our guinea pigs, which is a pet, had died, and he's like, "Oh, did you eat it?" And I was like, "What? Oh my God, no, I didn't eat it."
Food like that, like we do
They,
here. So it's
yeah, they wouldn't.
understandable. But with you, you're thinking, God, no, I don't eat my
Yeah,
pet. I
yeah, but it makes sense coming from where he was coming from.
exactly. I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
So in the book, you had mentioned that I know where you guys were staying at.
Mhm,
You said like I seen the picture of the kids, like they had their hands like through the gate of the where you guys were staying and stuff.
mhm.
So was there a reason, a safety concern why either the kids couldn't come in or you guys couldn't go out?
Oh, there's difference. So there's a couple pictures of me with or my hands with. At one point there's just my hand with their hands reaching through. That's just the open air structure of the wall for the school they were in. And as I was chatting with them just through the wall like you would through a window,
Mm-hmm.
I reached my hand out and there was something that was arresting for me visually of my hand and their hands and that wall in this place. The
Okay.
other one you may be referring to, there's a metal gate where you can see their whole bodies.
Right.
So yes, our back patio had a gate and fence around it because unfortunately there could be some theft or the when we go in as white people, there's a lot of cachet there for some villagers, and then our belongings, even if they aren't particularly fancy, could be very fruitful for them financially. So it's a security measure, but then it's also a give us a minute space too, because the kids, anytime I would go out, I brought my ukulele and like I bought a bunch of gum and stuff. And so
Oh,
like I'd play ukulele and give them gum and we'd talk and whatever, and they would sing a little bit or try to play the ukulele with me. Um, and there were always kids, always every minute of every day. And I love people, but I do have some limits. And
exactly.
so while we were still chatting with them through the gate, it did give us a little bit of a space. But it's interesting that you mentioned that because no one has. And now I kind of see that as humbling again, that we got to have this barrier between reality and our experience of it.
Yeah, because I just wonder, like, was it for your safety or what was the reason? Like,
Yeah, I never felt unsafe. It was to keep probably to keep our goods safe. Like a lot of the people in the village wouldn't have doors or windows or anything, and they
Mhm.
may or may not have a generator. Some people, I think I saw one TV when we were hosted at someone's house in their yard, like for a cookout kind of thing.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I think it was probably security, safety, all of that because we were in like I guess it's called a guest house at
Okay.
the school, and the school was a little bit of a distance from the village. But like all the students from the school, if there's people at the guest house, they're very interested, and for good reason. We're interesting, we're novel, we don't live in the village with them, so it's really fun for them. And like there were two little boys, the ones in the hoop picture, that
Mm-hmm.
I kept sending money back to through Ibrahim for, clothes and school fees and things like just little bits of money. Like you kind of
Right.
have to send $100 basic anyway. Um, but just because I love them, I got to know them. I wrote them notes in some notebooks and left them with some things. And because Ibrahim is a staff person and he's often connected to the guest house and to the Operation Classroom folks and the Methodist Church, it was pretty seamless to be able to get money and things to them through him. And to him as well, appreciating his efforts. But
Yeah. So I know you went with the church, and it probably
mhm,
was. I know you said in the book that it was a lot of time and preparation for you to get your passport so you can be able to
mhm.
go and all that good stuff. Once you got there, did the church partake in any activities outside of Sierra Leone, or did you guys get to explore anything or take any safaris or?
No, we didn't do anything really touristy except for this on the front cover. That one day at the beach was really just, it was the most beautiful beach I've ever seen in my entire life. And
Mhm.
it was really wonderful. But our purpose was to celebrate the opening of the Tayama Enterprise Academy because from what I was told culturally, entrepreneurship wasn't like a thing, like STEM schools and thinking beyond this year, this moment. And so Operation Classroom created this school so that it would work on all the STEM things. And it was really cool because, and I think there were some pictures here, but you've got the instructor teaching the kids how to take apart and put back together an engine for a generator. And
Mhm.
then when the generator went out while we were there, the students were the ones going to deal with the generator. And so they
Oh,
got hands-on real world experience on different parts of agriculture and um, all the STEM things. And so we were just there kind of as I don't know what's the word, special guests to celebrate the opening. I don't know what the word is. But so there was like a big um ceremony, and they had scouts, they had Boy Scouts, which I thought was really cool. I had no idea there were African Boy Scouts.
okay.
And um they did songs and they did all kinds of stuff. And so around that we were basically visiting folks. So we went to the hospital in Bo, Sierra Leone, and we came in and out of Freetown. We went to Tayama Village and we went to Largo Village, which is a little bit larger. That's the pictures I have of a lot of the people. Tayama was so small, but Largo was, they had a market and they had, people doing different things. And
I
one of
think
the cool things was they most villages have a peace hut, and it's to us sort of a gazebo, an open air
okay.
gazebo where differences are settled in person. And so the developer, Bob Kuhlman, who was connected to Operation Classroom, I'm sure he still is, but I'm not sure. He's
Okay.
a construction guy here locally in Northwest Indiana. And he built a very expensive, fancy townhome um, community just really close to me here, a couple of blocks away. And in the corner is a gazebo. And he said, Heather, that's a peace hut. That's modeled after Sierra Leone peace huts. And so,
Mhm.
here I am all this distance looking at this place I could never afford to live in. And knowing that peace hut is a callback to a place I've stood.
Wow. It's crazy how things connect.
Hmm.
Like you, yeah. Did How long were you guys there again?
About just under 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so you were there for half a month.
Yeah, it was the longest I've been away from my kids. My kids were kind of young, and my husband just about put his foot on my posterior to push me out the door, which is not, he's not the risk taker, he's the mellow
I gotta have
fellow.
everything right,
Oh
right.
yeah, so for him to encourage me to go, I was like, well, okay, God, I guess I'm going.
Yeah, it was meant for you to go on that trip.
Yeah,
It was really meant for you to go on that trip.
yeah.
Um, if the opportunity came again, do you plan on visiting there again
Oh,
with?
yes. Yeah. I would love to take my family. It's very expensive to go. And then to have the structure, like I wouldn't just go. Like I'd want to go as part of a team so that I have the same structure and security and transportation and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I don't know nothing, you know, and I wouldn't want to drive in that city, and so to be precious like that, like I couldn't just go like for the heck
Right.
of it. I'd have to go with the team, and for the my family to go, it's $8,000 minimum, and I don't know what it would be now, but
That would be
um,
for all of you?
ballpark, yeah, 2,000 about $2,000 a person, and
Ooh.
we don't take that kind of vacation, period. So like to go to, you
Yeah.
know it would be hard to get there, but they definitely were asking for me, and they've taken a couple trips. The group takes trips almost every other year. And so if any of your listeners want to go, they do Sierra Leone, and I forget the other country they go to, but they do trips and they have people go with. And we had a guy that was 80 some years old, and he was great. He did a great job.
Oh. Now, is that through your church?
It's through a church I used to work for and attend, the First United Methodist Church, but someone could go to Operation Classroom, and that information's in the book too. That's the group. So it's not through the
Oh,
church, it's through Operation Classroom, but my church was connected because a lot of the main players would attend that church.
oh, okay. You learn something new every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Operation Classroom is a great organization as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Um, what ways would you say that that trip changed your life when you came back home?
I would have to say humbly, not enough. It is very easy to forget and put aside hard lessons. And I don't know about you, but like I learned something that breaks me open, and I'm tender for a period of time, and then I get used to what I'm used to, and
Back
it's
to
takes yeah, it takes a back seat. So I appreciate the fact that when I do author events, this book is going with me and reminding me. And whenever I talk about haiku, this book is in my mind because it's haikus and photographs. um, it was kind of funny because it wasn't selling very well at my events. People tend to come to me for the fiction work, the suspense, the steam. And then all of a sudden, this book was selling really well. And I don't know if people suddenly had a curiosity about other parts of the country or what, but that was kind of fun to see.
did you find it while you were there, learning about a different culture? Um, do you think that it, in some aspect, incorporated what they were doing into your own life, or vice versa? Like, do you think like they learned from you, or you learned from?
I don't think they learned anything from me. I think that I got to read to some children and play ukulele and, you know, compliment and encourage people doing some really powerful things. But I went thinking I was going to be a helper, but really I wasn't. I was learning. I was a placeholder. And the people of Sierra Leone are so competent and happy. And just because their daily life looks different than
Mhm.
mine doesn't mean in any way it's less than. Now, I might be used to A, B, and C, and maybe they have D, E, and F, but it's all valuable to each person. And so, you have a village where there's no screen doors or windows or door, people are washing dishes and drying them on the ground in the dirt. And they are so content and focused on each other in a way that we are not in this country. In this country, I can get on my cell phone and disappear for an hour or two on nothing. It doesn't benefit my life or make
Right.
me help me benefit anyone at all. And so when people are living more simply, they are connected, I think more genuinely. Um, And I think like if I want to build a wall, I can hire someone and I can do it with credit. I don't have to get my little precious hands dirty. Um, there's no Menards to go to. And so one of the things, I didn't participate in making the bricks because I'm just, I didn't need to. There were a lot of our folks that wanted to, and I just watched and took pictures. But they made cement bricks to make a physical structure. They were working on a peace hut actually for the school. And, they mixed clay and cement and whatever with water, and they stirred it, and there were people in flip-flops working through moving it. They didn't have construction boots and jumpsuits and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
they just got in there and got it done, and they didn't know any other way of doing it, and they just took care of it the way they knew. And I was just really, embarrassed, like how many different kinds of bricks could I go get at Menards? And here are people that are creating a space with their hands. um I just think there's some magic in that we are very distant from.
Yeah, very, like once again, just privileged. I mean, we
Yeah.
can go into a grocery store, we can go into a Menards, we don't have I don't want to say hard living, but we're very pampered here.
Hmm.
Very pampered. I think that's why so many countries call us spoiled Americans, because
And we are everything they say we are. And I didn't see that until like the past, the current administration and the past, before, like they're right. They are right. We are what they say that we are, and that's really hard, to accept.
yeah, yeah. Because even
And
our
then,
hard isn't hard to them. Like we were like, oh, that.
oh, right. Well, I had a friend who said, she was going through a lot and I was going through a little, and I was complaining to her, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't complain to you about my little when you've got a lot. And she's like, your hard is your hard. It doesn't matter what it is, it's yours. And, so I think going to Sierra Leone changed me in some ways, and then I stubbornly reverted back to my own pampered state. And I'm okay with that gray area. I'm okay with that awkward, I should be a better human than I am. And here's the ways I could do it pretty easily. And I'm not going to do that, but I might do this. I
Right.
think just the awareness of the world changed me, and going to a place I wasn't particularly interested in, um, and learning so much, like a fire hose of knowledge and experience. I think I automatically interact with the world differently, even if imperfectly.
But you mentioned earlier your way of helping is to give back, which you are doing. You're helping out certain families over there in that country and stuff. You may not be able to do it physically, but but you're doing it by monetary means. You're still, in contact with the family. So, you know, you're only one person. You only can do what you can do, and I think
That's true.
you're
Thank
doing,
you. I appreciate that.
yeah, so you're doing
Thank
your
you.
part. So I don't think, as far as being hard on yourself, feeling like you don't help or not helping, you are. You have. So yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, that's just my opinion.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for you, so I appreciate you saying that to me. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at the end of the interview, and I usually ask all the guests like a few last questions. There
Okay.
are no wrong or right answers. It's just it's just whatever come to your mind. So you don't have
Okay.
no hard thinking or anything. Okay, but my first question to you is, would you prefer a trip back to Sierra Leone, or would you prefer going to another part of Africa?
I'd like to go to a different part just because I want to explore. I don't like to watch the same movie over. I don't like to read the same book over. I always like new and novel. So I'd rather go somewhere different, but I would absolutely go back if I could because I really did appreciate my time there.
Okay, and where would you like to go?
Oh. I don't know. This is where my ignorance shows. I don't know much about the continent of Africa. You
Okay.
mentioned a safari in the beginning. Maybe someplace where they have, different animals that I could go on a safari with. That'd be cool to see, I think.
Okay. Number, would do you prefer teaching or learning?
Oh, that's so hard, Naya. I don't know. I am automatically a teacher. I
Mm-hmm.
automatically share and want to make life better for anyone I come in contact with.
Okay.
So I think probably teaching. I'm also like very, I think I know everything. I've learned everything the hard way. Here's how to make it easier for you than it was for me. Um, but I also love learning. I'm almost always reading something to educate myself. I was just writing down a bunch of stuff this morning that I want to look up. I like to, I always am interested in how to live a better life because I'm never confident that I'm going to have a long life because my mom died when I was young. And so
Oh,
I want to get the most out of it and I want to be the most effective with it and have the most fun with it. And so learning and teaching are, they go together.
I get that from you though. From the moment I met you, you got this like poppy spirit. That's why I knew you was a fire sign. I just couldn't pinpoint. I said, I think, what did I say you were? I said a Leo. I think I said you were a
Yeah.
Leo, and you were
And
like,
I'm Sagittarius.
uh-huh. Yeah. And what is your favorite hobby?
Reading. I,
Reading.
I I like to play ukulele, I like to go to the beach and lay around in the hammock and nap. But I think reading overall is my favorite because you can learn and you can explore and you can experience different people and lifestyles and emotions and places and I think
Uh,
reading.
yeah, basically other lives and
Hmm.
imaginary, just all that good stuff. You can kind of take your mind somewhere else type
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah.
And what books are you currently reading or have read in the last six?
Oh. Well, so I'm currently reading a book. I'm gonna forget the name of it. Um, it's by my friend MB Henry. I'm looking at my pictures to see if I can find the cover of it. She writes really intellectual historical fiction, and it's very fun to read, but it's also, she's smart. She's very smart. It's called Hold On to Tomorrow, and it's set in the Kennedy assassination time frame.
Oh, okay.
And so I just started reading that. Um, I just One of the books I really have enjoyed recently is The Midnight Library. Have you read
Mm.
that one?
Now, who is that by?
I don't remember the author. Oh, let me Google it real quick.
A
It's
Midnight.
about a woman who's kind of frustrated with her life and she wants to end it and she ends up going in between. It's by Matt Haig, Haig.
Okay.
And she ends up in this library where she can try on all the different versions of her life. And it's it's interesting because like one of the things she learns very quickly is, oh, if A hadn't happened, this
Mm,
still would have gone badly.
mm-hmm.
Or if I got everything I thought I wanted, it's actually not what I really want. And I think that's such an important lesson for us to learn because I think a lot of people, women in particular, are waiting until to be happy, until they're thinner, until they have more money, until he loves me, until she loves me, whatever. And I think that choosing to savor where you are in your life, wherever it is, even if it's not the greatest,
Mm-hmm.
is going to be better than anything else. I mean, even something crummy, you can savor something small.
That's true. It's true. I
Hmm.
just think sometimes people have a hard time seeing past the fog, seeing past
Hmm.
what's going on currently. It's like,
Hmm.
oh my God,
Yeah.
that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I think you're right.
because someone always either have it worse than you or better than you. It's just how it's always going to be. Like it's never going to be I don't know, balanced, I would say. Like it's a give or take situation.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
and anything you think you want, and once you have it, then there's something else you want. Always.
True.
So unless we choose to be satisfied right now with whatever is going on, we're not going to be satisfied in the future either.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
Well, and are you a part of any book clubs, ma'am?
I am. I'm in a feminist book club, but I don't go because it tends to be on my ballet class nights. And so I love them. I've gone to many discussions and I see them socially, but I haven't made it to a book club in an embarrassingly long period of time.
Okay. Well, this is normally where I will ask you to be a part of my book club on YouTube, which you already are. You subscribe
All
to
right.
the channel. It's
Yep.
called My Red Book Club Podcast. This interview will be posted on that platform. I think sometime around the end of June. I'm trying to
Okay.
get everyone's interview in. Whew. I think I'll be doing so many interviews and reading so much that I forget. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like I have so much work, but
Yep.
but yes, definitely once I post that on the platform, I will send you a link so you can post it on your social media platform,
Yes, yes, I would.
and then
Yep.
you can share it with your family and friends and colleagues and whatever else.
Awesome. Happy to do that. What book are we reading in June then with the book club?
Right now it's just a group of books. Like you can pick one from
Ah,
out off of the platform. Like say for instance, your book, if your book was up there, they will have
uh-huh.
opportunities to either pick your book. It's not just one book. You can choose.
That's nice. So each person can pick what they want.
Yeah, it's like give you
A
a
group of
variety
books.
instead of you being committed to one book. Like that's what I learned from seeing other book clubs. Like, okay, what if I'm not into that book?
That's really cool.
then you have a choice to pick what maybe you may want or be interested in or like to read and stuff. So just try to keep that open.
Awesome.
But I really appreciate this, Heather. Finally, we together for almost 2
It's
months.
like third time's the charm, fourth time's the charm.
I know, right? I'm like, man, is it meant for me to have an interview with this lady? I'm like, if it ain't her, it's me. If it ain't me, it's her. I'm like, we
You
going
kind of want it. I don't know.
like our schedules are so conflict, but I really, like I said, I appreciate your time
Thank
and
you
let
for asking
me
me.
hear you and stuff. And hopefully, when you're done with your book that you're talking about, I can get that one and we can do this again.
Ooh. All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
Rage Moms is pretty fun because a lot of moms they work really, or do you have kids?
they're grown though.
Okay, but like you try to hold it together, you try to teach them to be good humans, you try to be a good human in front of them. But at the end of the day, like sometimes you just want to murder somebody. And it's
Right.
illegal, so you can't do that. So I
No.
did it for us in a book. So I have a Gen Z mom, and I have a millennial mom, and I have a Gen X mom, and they all whack somebody, and it's satirical and dark and funny and painful. So
Okay.
it's kind of a cathartic thing for other moms to just get their rage out on the page as opposed to in real life.
Well, I will look forward to reading them. I'm gonna get back with you so I can get me a copy. And then
All right.
I want your autograph, your John Hancock on all of them.
All right. When it comes out, I'll make sure that happens. All
Okay.
right, Nye. Take care. Mwah.
You too,
Thank
babe.
you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.